I have been playing Reverse 1999 for about slightly over 10 days, and I think it's a very interesting game, especially for those refugees from default. And if you want to start a new game, I do really recommend Reverse 999 because it has some form of similarity in terms of how the game actually works. The reason why I am able to play default very frequently because the thing is that I'm looking for a game that I do not have to be moving around so much, as in I do not have to use both of my hand to actually move the character around, because sometimes I'm doing something with my son or some activity, so I basically just press with one hand and the other one is just free. And after I play quite often, especially like default, I kind of know what I want to do, so I don't really have to think so much unless the fight is really difficult. So Reverse 999, it is the same, is that everything is just based on click. You don't have to move, right? You are just moving around like this, so it is rather easy to navigate, and hence I think that gives a similarity in how you would, navigate the game compared to default. And obviously, the character wise, there is a lot of thing about team formation as well.
You're bugging.
Okay, so you got to know what team to put together. There is a lot of stats and all those things that help to build or to do some specific combo, right? If you do things right, you can see like 10,000, 20,000 or even more damage being done. And there is a few ways to think about when we are playing the game, because it has some certain gimmicks like Moxie. How are we able to recharge our ultimate? So it does give enough room to have, you got to like think about how you want to do things and to win the fight. The thing is that I'm not sure, like once you hit maximum level for all your characters, is the fight really that easy that you don't really have to think anymore. But so far I am having a blast. There's a lot of strategy that I need to do, and there's several game modes that they add some specific functions or modes, like in this artificial somnambulism. There is a similarities like not Dare to Defy. In a way it's like Dare to Defy, that your character get locked out after you have completed a fight, but it is not as taxing as Dare to Defy in the sense that they don't get locked out more than one fight. So I will talk about this later, but basically I think it's a good game. So if you want to have that form of casual play, the game also locks you down with energy, and we don't gain much of it. I know this can be quite frustrating to a lot of people compared to default, because default, we always have the resources. You just jump into the game, you can just, as long as you grind, you can max out all your units, but basically here you can't. So you are gated by energy, and only in a certain day there's just so much that you can do. So yeah, so I am still, after 10 days, not all my character has been maximized. Like some of my 6-star characters, I have them just at level 50, and I could not proceed further because I do not have the materials, and I have to craft this material in the wilderness, and my wilderness is not maximized yet. So yeah, so there is a limit to how much you can play the game, but I think that is okay, given that whatever that I'm doing is I'm getting more busy by the day, and my second child will be born soon, so I think this game is perfect with whatever that's happening around me at the moment. As you know, some of you know that I'm playing Honkai Star Rail as well, but I'm taking that like really casual. I just log in sometimes just to do 1 or 2 quests, then I use up all the stamina, and that's about it. So I kind of focus a little bit more in this game at the moment. Okay, so this is the beginner guide, and that was the introduction. So what I want to cover here is how the entire game function, not on the battle system. I'll probably do another video for the battle and how we can approach the battle based on different strategy and things like that. But here's basically how to manage your resource, right? Because there is a lot of resource in this game. Like here we have Sharpodonty, we have the clear drop and a crystal drop. That is purchased. So if you are free to play, you will never get the crystal drops. And the game is connecting. Alright, so apart from that, like to level up your characters. Okay, for example, let me go for medicine pocket. So here to level up, you need dust. Alright, and you will need Sharpodonty. So this bring their level up to maximum, and after you hit maximum, you have to use insight and bring them to the next level. So inside there is 3 levels. So level 1, insight 2, and insight 3. So the good thing about this insight is that it gives additional like after caster cast an ultimate, then increase HP attack, you know, for all allies. So this kind of does help the kit of the character itself. So you definitely want to bring them to a very high insight as soon as possible. The thing is that from insight 1 to insight 2, for example, baby blue is at insight 1. So if I want to increase it to insight 2, these materials, you are able to farm it, and you can trade it in the current event as well. And they also give something like a casket where inside there is a material that you can just exchange. So it's rather easy to get them up to at least insight 2. The problem is that from moving to insight 2 to insight 3, that becomes somewhat of a problem, because like I say, this material can only be crafted in the wilderness, but now I don't even have it unlocked yet. So it takes time, right? So here I have Pickles. So Pickles is now level 50 with Insight, and apart from level and Insight, there is also Resonate. So Resonate, you can level it up as well. And the same thing, you will need resources, and you can get this, you can farm all this. So at this moment it is still fine. But I cannot stop at level 5. That's because currently I'm spending all my energy to get Dusk and Sharpodonty in order to upgrade my characters. So all of this farming, they share the same energy resource. So you really got to know what is your priority now and what you need to farm for in order to get them up. So what exactly resonance is they give you something like this grid, right? Then you can actually place. Okay, for example, I can place this and this. Sorry. Right, so I can place it in, and I will get the stats that is given, provided by these blocks. Okay, this Tetris-like blocks. So for example, if I equip that, I get attack 1% and critical rate 1.5, HP 1% and damage reduction 0.5. But if I remove this, for example, I can also equip this one, and this increase my attack by, attack by 2.5%, and reality defense and mental defense by 2.5% each. Okay, so what you want to do obviously is to put as much Tetris blocks into your grid, so in order to maximize the stats that you can get. And each of these, they have different stats. So you have this one like increased critical, you have this one that increased attack, then you have this one which is for defense, right? So it's based on what character you're using. I would say if you are using attacker, then obviously give it as much attack stat as possible. If you are playing a healer or a debuffer, a buffer, then you might want them to be as tanky as possible, so you can give them defense stats. Alright, so That is about resonates. Then another thing here we have is psycubes. So psycube is basically accessory. So you can see there's a few accessory. What I have here is just 6-star and 5-star accessory. I have combined, or I have used the 3-star and 4-star accessory in order to upgrade my accessories, and hence I do not have any left. But here we have, for example, here's Bounden Duty. The good thing about 6-star and 5-star is that they have this amplification. So this amplification gives them an additional function. Like for this, for each enemy target defeated by the carrier, HP plus the carrier attacks times 60%. So it provides healing. So if you are using a DPS unit and you find it that there's insufficient healing, you can just equip this Psycube artifact, this Psycube, then it will provide the DPS unit with the mechanics to be able to heal themselves, right? So like for this one, it's also a healing one. I kind of traded too many healing one, but anyway, here it says after the carrier uses a debuff, the carrier healing rate is increased by 3%, and you can stack it up all the way to 4, so 12%. And it also increased the critical rate by 7%. So yeah, so depending on what unit you are using, then you can equip that with Psycube. The reason why I did not put a preference, because for example, if I go into a fight, alright, just okay, I go in, then I have this menu where I can set up my unit, so I can equip it here as well. Okay, and I find it a bit annoying if I put a preference on Pickles and I wanted to use that healing one for, sorry, what's the name, for Lilia, then I have to shuffle it. But if it's with Pickles preference, then every time I bring Pickles in, it will automatically go back to Pickles, and when I change team around, it get a bit annoying. So at this point, I would just equip them depending on what I have and what I want, depending on the team that I have formed in order to beat the boss or the enemy. Okay, so apart from that, what we have for an upgrade is Portray. So Portray, if you have been playing Genshin or Honkai, I'm pretty sure you are very familiar with this, is every time you pull and you get a duplicate units, then the unit will turn into an artifice. So this artifice, you can use it to upgrade the portrait of your character. So here I get 3 copies of Pickles. I was quite lucky, I think. It was just 8 pulls and I have 3 copies, so it's about 2 to 3 pulls per copy, so I'm very happy with what I have. So here I have 2 copies, so I get level 1, which increases the mental damage of Spoke Pickles, which is his ultimate. Then at level 2, when I use his ultimate, it provides a buff of 40% damage up to all the allies. Okay, so these are all the things that you need to know to upgrade your character, right? So obviously, if you max out everything, you have max level, you have max insight, you have max portrait, you have max resonate, then your character will be extremely strong. So far, the game up to the China version, if you do not have multiple copy of the unit, they are still very strong. So focus more on your level and insight, your resonates, your Psycube, and finally portrait. So that is the last thing that you should be worried about, and do focus on upgrading the rest.